Greetings, viewers. Welcome back to another episode of FitzRupee Cast featuring DoW2 Retribution. Red-Rupee here with you, and we've got some more Elite Mod action. You guys have been eating up the Elite Mod, so we're going to keep that rolling. And actually, speaking of Elite Mod, there was a tournament this past weekend run by DJ Rafa, and he actually asked me to let people know about it, and I completely flubbed that. I'm sorry, Rafa. I apologize, and hopefully there's some great replays and stuff like that up of that tournament, and hopefully there's some sweet games that came out of that. Maybe I'll find a few and cast them. I'm not sure if it was covered, but anyways, next time that happens, I'll be sure to let people know. Anyways, sorry I mixed that up. We're on Leviathan Hive, one-on-one match here, the Tyranid-infested map that is Leviathan Hive. Man, this map just creeps me out looking at it, and it's appropriate that it's Tyranid-infested because we have a Tyranid Hive over here on the far side of the map. Let's take a look at our players. Mr. Floid on the red team. I don't think we've actually had a one-on-one with Floid. He's been on the channel before, I think, in team games, but we'll get to see his Lictor Alpha play. Sneaky, sneaky Lictor Alpha brought up to the front here. And then, of course, everyone's favorite DoW2 admin over at Game Replays. Give him a hand for keeping that together for so long. Mr. Paranoid as the Space Marine Force Commander. The man in charge over here. And a sweet little custom badge over here, if anyone recognizes that. So Leviathan Hive, a pretty good Space Marine map, I feel like. All of the kind of necessary points for you to hold are nice and close together. You don't really have to spread out too much. The map itself is kind of laney. So you can see, looking on the minimap, there's kind of 3 main lanes. It's difficult to pull off some really easy flanks. You kind of really have to go around these 2 kind of secondary areas right here up on the hill or through the ruins of the old temple here. So I feel like Force Commander will be able to do pretty well here. Of course, Tyranid's very good at dealing with Space Marine. The Lictor Alpha, I feel like, especially as he can cloak around and just be a general nuisance to capping scouts and tacticals if they're caught out of position and really do some damage. Paranoid going for double scouts, which is fairly standard build, of course, and Floyd bringing the double Termagants, also keeping it nice and easy as far as build orders go here for me. Nothing terribly exciting. Tactical Marines, Paranoid being very aggressive early on, gonna go straight across, not cap anything, and put some pressure on these Hormagaunts and force them off the field early. And that's great to do in the early engagement against Tyranid because those Hormagaunts really tend to be troublemakers in the first round or 2 of battles in those couple skirmishes that start up. So Scouts coming onto the field, getting that cap, Lictor preventing the cap of the victory point right there, getting a nice little flesh hook, knocked in the Force Commander over, and then stay in stealth so he can try to get the decap on this power. Force Commander hits his battle cry, but it's not going to be enough. He needed to knock him off one more time, and the Lictor's just going to choose not to engage right now. Scouts taking a little bit of Termagant fire right there, and both squads of Termagants moving in here, getting upgraded with their Toxin Sacks, so they will be able to slow this Force Commander and shut down his melee charge as soon as that comes up. Unfortunately, a bit too slow because he's getting in there and causing some trouble right now. Greatly outnumbered, but he is a Space Marine commander. He does not care. And it looks like he is going to have to get out of there momentarily. Lictor heading after the Scouts. In the meantime, Tactical Marines punching the heck out of that power node over there and actually going to punch that thing till it breaks. Force Commander getting a sweet sync kill there and probably going to have to fall out as soon as he spots those Hormagaunts. He does decide to fall back. Lictor trying to pick off a scout or 2. Paranoid bringing a 3rd squad of scouts onto the field, not upgrading any power yet. Surprisingly, he has quite a bit of wreck. Might just be a little slipping on his macro, but getting some good map control right now. 473 to 500. Really, so long as you don't go into Tier 2 with a severe VP disadvantage, you're doing okay against Tyranids as Space Marines. Floyd also brought himself a 4th squad onto the field. He's got 3 Termagants now and 1 squad of Hormagaunts, of course, that he starts with. Lictor very low, but choosing to stick around. He knows there's lots of scouts around. Easy pickings for the Lictor himself. Oh, he did get spotted right there, though. He's going to have to fall back. Hopefully, Floyd's paying attention. He is indeed, and Lictor's heading out of there. Not so low that the tax probably could have finished him off on retreat, so I thought Paranoid might have tried to stick around and take care of that. Paranoid's still not popping any power. I'm not sure if he's going to bring a second squad attacks on the field or what. He's got tons of requisition right now. Perhaps just focusing a bit too much on the micro or hesitant to put up any generators as he might not hold them. But at this point, it's time to get that power up. Floyd doing a good job of keeping the pressure on despite getting pushed back a little early, and these triple scouts doing a great job for Paranoid of keeping map control from getting too out of hand here. Paranoid does have one of the natural wreck points there for Floyd, so if he can kind of keep trying to bleed these Termagants and keeping these Tacks and Scouts from taking too many losses, he'll be in a good spot. Hormagaunts now getting their adrenal glands upgrade right there. And Floyd is trying to gather up here and make a concerted push, it looks like, with these Termagants. He's going to bring them all around the side and engage the Force Commander, who's not really supported at all right now. Instead, the Scouts are going around with the Assault Space Marines, which just came on the field for Paranoid. Paranoid finally dropping a full generator farm right there and dropping his wreck completely down to just about nothing. So here comes the Force Commander. He is going to have 3 Venom shots to deal with, though, so I don't think he's going to do too much. Although it looks like, oh, he's buying time. That's all he's doing, is just trying to stall a little bit. Keep that pile right there, and here comes the Assault Jump, knocking over that entire pile of Termagants. And Floyd should have known something was up right there, because Paranoid's not just going to meaninglessly have his Force Commander take all that fire. He was just stalling for time, trying to get those Assault Space Marines in there. Lictor gets a quick scout kill right there, turning around to throw out a quick flesh hook, and now getting the Scything Talons upgrade, which gives him the size ability, which does some pretty nice damage and suppresses and knocks back some troops. And man, we can see this must be a hungry Lictor today, because he's just gobbling up Assault Space Marines. One goes down. He might get another on retreat right here. One more poke maybe with that long claw right there. And nope, it looks like they're both going to get out of there. Very fortunate. Lictor trying. Oh my gosh, he might actually move in. He does snag one more. Oh, if he had the energy and that sync kill wasn't so long, a flesh hook may have spelled doom for Paranoid right there. Getting very fortunate. Leaving those Assault Marines in a bit too long. Perhaps misjudged the damage the Lictor would have output with those Scything Talons. Paranoid, in the meantime, doing some good capping up top. Did some damage to the Hormagaunts with double Scouts, and Scouts going to run around and cap wherever they can. In the meantime, Lictor's still doing excellent damage, knocking Tactical Marines down. A quick Venom shot on that Force Commander, keeping him from getting into melee with the Termagants. And Lictor trying to snag one more expensive kill here on the Tactical Marines. Look how quick he is. Still following them at full retreat speed. Manages to get one and a second with another flesh hook. Wow, that's very expensive for Paranoid, losing 2 Assault Marines and 2 Tactical Marines in that last engagement. And Floyd not really losing too much in the way of Gaunts. He lost a few there, I believe, and especially from the Hornas up top against the Scouts. But doing a good job otherwise. Doing good damage, but not holding the map as much as I kind of like to see a Tyranid player do. As Tyranid, you kind of want to shut down the Space Marine, put some pressure on the power, and keep him from keeping up with tech. Paranoid actually going into Tier 2 before Floyd. So that's going to be a good position to be in. VPs are just about even, and that's pretty much perfect for Space Marine, especially against Tyranids, who are pretty much renowned for having some kind of Tier 1 dominating map control generally. These triple Scouts really working out well for Paranoid, allowing the dual Scouts on this side of the map to really deal with the Hormagaunts, which normally can kind of just charge at a single squad of Scouts. With 2, you can kind of dodge around, kite a little bit, and just keep the Hormagaunts from having a capping party on their own. Normally, the Hormagaunts will just cap that side of the map and then put pressure on the power wherever the Space Marine army is not. So triple Scouts really working out so far. Lictor hasn't been harassing them too much either. He's kind of been hanging out with the main force, and I mean, all things considered, doing a great job. He tagged himself 4 Space Marines, 2 Assault and 2 Tactical in that brief engagement we just saw earlier. So Floyd now heading into Tier 2 here, with Paranoid getting ready to put some pressure on the power farm. Assault jump in on the Termagants, Scouts moving in, and of course 2 Scout squads deal range damage output equivalent to that of attack squad. So you have to kind of keep in mind, keep that in perspective when you're just letting 2 squads of Scouts pound away at your forces there. Tax now coming in, Big push from Paranoid right here. He's going to get this Termagant squad, it looks like. Oh no, but a quick knockdown attack from the Lictor saves the last member. Assault Marines have to get out of there, but that Lictor is going to be taking lots of range fire as he tries to close in on these scout squads. And yeah, he's pretty much just going to have to get out of there. Might tag one last scout, but getting a little low and deciding that he does in fact have to regress from that engagement. So Paranoid going straight for a Dreadnought. Floyd getting a Warrior Brood on the field, and at this point he's got to have a little trepidation here. Paranoid hasn't really invested much power in Tier 1. He's kept all his Scouts vanilla, his Tax vanilla, no upgrades on his Force Commander. All he really did was spend that initial 50 power. And you can see Floyd has upgraded all of his Termagants, his Hormas, and gotten the Scything Talons for the Lictor. And meanwhile, Paranoid has all four of the power nodes, despite other than Floyd's kind of natural node right there. Quick Capillary Tower going up here. And Tacticals realize they kind of just have to fall back right there. Force Commander calling that he can withstand this. I'm not sure if he's correct, though, because those are some hungry, hungry Tyranids. Especially that Lictor Alpha so far this game. And he does snag the kill on the Force Commander as well. Floyd must not have fed his Lictor earlier because he is out here and he is hungry. I guess that's possible strategy pre-game there. Just don't feed your Lictor before the match. And he's just going to be a lot more angry. We can see a Sarge on these Tacticals. They're getting ready to get upgraded to the Stern Guard Veterans, which will give them some additional HP and some various ammo configurations. Makes the Sarge permanent, too, so he can't be killed individually anymore. Kind of an oversight that a lot of people don't consider. Making that Sarge permanent is a big deal, especially with that awesome, awesome ability, Space Marine Shall Know No Fear. So here comes another push on the Power Farm. Dreadnought up here right now, and Floyd's got to be thinking he's in a bit of trouble. He got a nice win there by taking out the Force Commander, but now there's Venom Broods on the field, a Warrior Brood as well. So really all he has to do is use his melee and Termagants to kind of kite around these assault squads, and then these Venom Broods can open up on the Dreadnought. Melee Dreadnought I really like against Tyranid too, because it kind of just deters any real melee force from coming in, because you can just drop that Emperor's Fist ability and stun the whole lot of them as they charge in that big pile. Lictor in a bit of trouble. Will he go down? One volley of swings does not finish him off, and he's going to get back to his base. However, it's a triple cap against Paranoid right now, and he needs to get his stuff together and get back those VPs nice and quick. He had kind of a VP advantage going into Tier 2 there and taking out that Gen Farm, but those VPs even right back out, and probably going to be just about perfectly even, maybe a little against him there. Here comes another tower, but it was just a second too late. It wouldn't have stopped them from capping. There was the one Assault Space Marine that kind of prevented that now. These towers actually passively add to the red that Tyranid get as well, so Paranoid's stopping the cap and making sure he at least kills one of those. Hormagon's coming in here, and oh! Emperor's Wrath going down, and I think that may have been a bit premature, because here comes some Adrenal Gland Warrior Broods. He really should have tried to hold it for that, and they're doing some pretty excellent damage to that Dreadnought. Assault Marines jump in on the Venom Brood to try to prevent that anti-vehicle fire, but they're focusing down the Hormagons instead. Oh my goodness, there goes a second and a third. Oh, if only that Warrior had stayed in there, gotten one or two more swings. Instead, the Warrior Brood goes down. The Venom Warriors, oh wow, just barely get a hit off right there. I didn't think they were going to finish off that Dreadnought. If that Dreadnought had stayed alive, that may have been the game for Floyd. Another couple Synapse Bombs going off as the two Venom Cannon Warriors die out to the Assault Space Marines on retreat. Another squad of Termagants might be in danger here, as Floyd is just pushing a little too far, trying to finish off that Stern Guard squad. It just didn't have the HP that he needed to be pushing that so hard. And it looks like we had a little pheromone cloud right there, which allowed all of those Termagants to reinforce. The only reason they are still in the game, otherwise those Assault Marines would have annihilated that very low squad. I believe they've used all their Venom shots. Oh no, there goes another one right there. Force Commander in a lot of trouble again. Lictor trying to get another swing, and down he goes. A second kill on the Force Commander from the Lictor Alpha. Paranoid
understood.
had a great push there. Kind of lost it a little bit, though, as far as losing the Dreadnought and his Force Commander there. May have lost the momentum he may have otherwise had. He's heading into Tier 3, but his hero's down. All of his squad's looking pretty good. His Assault Squad already level 3, and Stern Guard Veterans at level 2, and they just get very, very powerful as they level up. Of course, when you do switch to the Stern Guards, they lose all of their established veterancy so far as Tactical Marines. One lone Venom Cannon Warrior retreating past the Scouts. Scouts constantly been capping throughout all of this too, so keeping map control well in Paranoid's hands and trying to starve Floyd of that requisition as much as possible. Even if he doesn't hold this, just decapping matured requisition points is always something you want to try to do. It makes a big difference in the long run, especially if you can repeatedly do it, and Paranoid has the Scouts to do so. And now some Gene Stealers coming onto the field, some more melee. Now that that Dreadnought's down, there's really no reason not to get that melee. Surprised I haven't seen the Thunderhammer on the Force Commander. I really feel like that's kind of a go-to against Tyranids. But we'll have to see how it works out, see which upgrades Paranoid decides to kit him out with. Of course, he's gone down a couple times. Only level 2, so maybe he's not investing too much. Meanwhile, the Lictor Alpha is level 4 and has all kinds of good stuff on him. Has his adrenal glands, which increases all his health regeneration, energy regeneration, and I think his energy pool. Yeah, it gives him 50 extra energy as well. So he can stay stealth a lot longer, throw out a couple extra flesh hooks here and there, and of course use that pheromone cloud, which we saw is used so effectively with the triple termagants earlier on in that engagement with the pallet farm right here. Anyways, I'm not sure Paratermagants is going to be able to deal with the Force Commander and his Assault Space Marines. Stern Guards over here as well, getting ready to get popped by some Spore Mines though. However, it doesn't look like Floyd's popping them at all. It's just leaving them there kind of to intimidate. He blows one there finally. Lictor gets very low fighting the Force Commander, and Gene Stealers now coming into the fray. And you can see, yeah, they're just going to charge right in after these Tactical Marines. Assault's also very low, and they're just going to activate their healing, and they're hungry Gene Stealers right here. One Assault Marine goes down, and now these Stern Guards are not going to be able to deal with this without the support of the Force Commander and Assaults. Force Commander just stubbornly refusing to fall back ever right here. He's going to need to get out of there, though, as those Gene Stealers come in. Oh my goodness, 175 to 296. Floyd on the wrong side of the VPs right now, triple capped and down by about 150 VPs here shortly. Scouts just never ceasing to be on the capping duty. You can see what Paranoid's been kind of doing is keeping either a couple Scouts together and using a third one to cap, or using the 2 to cap and leaving the third one with the battle group. Kind of switching them in and out, really making Floyd kind of deal with what he has. Without the Hormagaunts on the field, really the Scouts can kind of just have uninterrupted reign to cap wherever they want. Lictor's finally deciding to try to go shut that down himself, picking off one squad with a flesh hook, or sorry, one member with a flesh hook, not a whole squad, and trying to deter them from getting any more map than they already have. Triple Scouts really paying off, I think, for Paranoid. And Paranoid's saving up lots right here. I can only assume maybe getting a Predator, but I feel like at this point he's probably going to be going for some Terminators, as we most often see with the Force Commander. Floyd hanging out in Tier 2 still. Not sure what he's going to go for next. He could get I'd be surprised if he didn't get another squad of Adrenal Gland Warriors, considering he has Gene Stealers on the field, because they are just such a powerful combination, especially against Space Marine. Couple extra Scouts going down here for Paranoid, despite losing quite a bit there in that last couple engagements. Paranoid kind of gaining his momentum back and pushing back out here. Floyd has gotten his gen farm back up for a while and finally heading into Tier 3 to keep up with Paranoid here. However, Paranoid's going to have some big Tier 3 power units on the field here any minute as soon as he decides to drop some Terminators in. There goes a Scythe on those Assault Space Marines, and that's what he wants to do, is start whittling these down before the main engagement happens. Because even if they jump in on these Termagants, if they're weak enough, it's not going to matter. One member does go down to the Lictor. He's got such a high rate of attack. When he focuses on one model, it doesn't take long at all to take it out. And look at the spread. Floyd perfectly kiting these assault space marines around, moving the termagants in all different directions, and then using the Gene Stealers. Oh, the Gene Stealers decided not to attack the Stern Guard veterans. They're in the retreat path of these assault space marines. A flesh hook goes down, one goes down, and the second is taken out. That's a huge win for Floid, taking out those vetted assault space marines. They're level 3, probably almost level 4 at this point. Stern Guard's also in a lot of trouble. They're not going to go down, but might lose a couple models right here as Floid swarms those Tyranids in.
Understood.
And just shows them what the hurt's about. Gene Stealers now getting their rending claws now in tier 3, going to give them some nasty heavy melee. Force Commander trying to get out of dodge. Hopefully, oh no, there's the Venom shot, and all the melee's closing in once again. He can't deal with that on his own. He really needs that Thunderhammer, I feel like. Here comes some work here. Oh, it's the Sacred Standard, which will give him a passive damage boost, which is pretty excellent. But I think that Thunderhammer is just kind of what he needs to deal with this melee. Keep these Gene Stealers on their back. Surprised to see normal Assault Terminators, or sorry, normal Deep Strike Terminators, not the Assault Terminators, keeping it with a ranged army primarily after losing his Assault Space Marines. It is kind of risky sometimes to go for the Assault Terminators against Tyranid, as they can get so easily swarmed by melee. They are very powerful, but of course, so is Tyranid melee, especially when it comes out in giant piles right here. Lictor trying to pick off more and more scouts, really trying to bleed Paranoid out. Been doing a pretty excellent job of it so far, getting a nice sync kill there. Oh man, Lictor Alpha level 6, almost level 7. Those scouts give so much nice experience, and he's just been gobbling them up. Stern Guard veteran level 3, getting meaner and meaner. And an assault cannon on the Terminators right now. Yep, there's the Adrenal Gland Warrior Brood, so those warriors combined with the Gene Stealers will be able to just shred these Terminators if they get into melee, so Paranoid's going to have to be very careful with the use of them. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a Librarian come on the field here shortly. He has excellent synergy with both the Force Commander and the Terminators. And with this Sacred Standard, of course, the Force Commander is going to be passively buffing the damage of all of this powerful range right here. And if the Force Commander goes down, guess what? That buff gets even better. At the sight of seeing their leader fall, you would think the Space Marines would get discouraged, but no, it only enrages them. There goes the battle cry, and now everything's doing maximum damage right here in the center. Almost taking out that Lictor in one quick volley. Those warriors need to go down right here. If they can get a couple quick Synapse Bombs, it's going to hurt those Gene Stealers greatly. But as they're getting healed, they might not be doing the damage output now without the Force Commander that they need to. 3 squads of scouts all upgraded with their Sarges, pummeling those Gene Stealers while they're engaged in melee. And man, lots and lots of Termagants going down here, and that is just a big pile of range damage right there. 159 to 112, still really anyone's game. With these Terminators now on the field and just the Space Marine Tier 3 that is so very powerful, causing some serious headache for Floyd right now. The problem with these Venom Broods is that kinda right now, without vehicles on the field, they're not really going to be doing too much. They do reasonable damage against the Terminators, actually. And with that ranged Synapse, they should really be trying to stick around with the Termagants as much as they can. But both players doing very well. Both players only lost a single squad so far. Oh no, and just as I say that, a scout squad goes down. Oh no! Or sorry, I'm wrong. Floyd has lost 2. I made a wrong call there. Little casting mistake. No big deal. But still, Floyd very much still in this game. 159 to 100 points. And Floyd just blobbed up and angry right now. Both ranged and melee Synapse in effect right here. Gonna allow the Termagants and Gene Stealers to really pile on the hurt. Lictor going around being sneaky, as he has been all game so far. Level 7, really nasty fellow right now.
The enemy is claiming a victory point.
And all is quiet briefly here. While Paranoid devises his defensive plan. Gonna go down and deal with this Lictor, who is not by himself. It looks like he's by himself, and I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. But Floyd, with his whole army, laying in wait here. And as soon as those Terminators and Force Commanders show up, here come the Gene Stealers. A nice flesh hook knocking the Force Commander down, combined with the assault lead right there, the charge of the Warriors. Force Commander activates his battle cry, trying to knock everything over, but this particular battle cry only has a 180-degree arc right there, so when he's completely surrounded, it doesn't do that much to slow everything down. Warrior Brood suppressed from that assault cannon fire. Gene Stealer's just barely getting out of range of most of the synapse damage right there and activating their health steal, and they're just unrelenting as they charge in against the Terminators and Scouts. Scouts have no shotguns. I really think Paranoid needs a set of shotguns or two to deal with this melee. These Gene Stealers, not friendly at all. Warriors trying to move in position. There goes a slow shot on the Terminators. They're going to turn and fight with the help of the Force Commander, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough with all the Gene Stealers and Adrenal Gland Warriors on the field. Force Commander getting knocked over as the Terminators are desperately fighting for their lives. I don't think they're going to do it. They're outnumbered and outmanned as far as melee damage goes. And down they go. They use their teleport already, and wow, Paranoid in a lot of trouble. Just as I thought he had this game in the bag, his Force Commander falls for at least a third time, and his Terminators go down as well. There's a Predator on the field right now, but of course there's Venom Cannon Warriors, which are going to be doing some pretty solid damage to that until it gets upgraded with its armor. So it kind of needs to fall back and can't deal with this threat right now. Unfortunately, Floyd forgot to cap this VP. He needs to cap that rear VP right now and kind of shut down Paranoid before any more tier 3 comes onto the field. He's got plenty of requisition. He can either get back his Force Commander or probably bring a second squad of Terminators onto the field here shortly. Lots of Synapse Bombs about to go off here as both the Warriors, the Venom Cannon Warriors and the Adrenal Gland Warriors, very low right now. They turn to fire on the Predator right now, though. It is pretty low on health. 139 to 76. Oh, Floyd, go cap that rear VP. Just send the injured Warriors or the Gene Stealers down there or something. He might have this in the bag, but really the longer the game goes on, you want to just starve Space Marine out of the game as soon as possible. Paranoid does have his Force Commander back up, and it'll be about 2 more minutes before he has enough requisition for Terminators. He's trying to finish off that power node, but really, you got to keep in mind, at this point in the game, look at the amount of power Paranoid has with the amount of VPs that are left. He's not even going to use that 300 power before the match ends, so there's no real reason for him to stay in against that Predator. Look at the Lictor just waiting here. Gonna wait for the Force Commander to start capping that, knock him over, and just start doing some nasty damage. Use a Scythe to knock him over again. Floyd finally gets the cap on that rear point, 82 to 76, and this might be it for Paranoid right now. Force Commander's trying to take out that Lictor. He finally falls back as the battle cry gets activated, but it's a triple cap against Paranoid. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get this cap in time. Predator taking huge damage from those Gene Stealers. Wow, they took that thing out quickly. Those Rending Talons, level 2, and of course melee Synapse around here as well. Just obliterating that poor Predator. I really feel like that might be a 37 to 76 for Paranoid, and wow, Space Marine shall know no fear indeed in the face of 2 heavy melee squads, knocking them over and forcing them off. Level 4 Stern Guard is nothing to snark at. Force Commander up here with his Armor of Alacrity finally, getting up here, getting a decap. Paranoid is at least going to shut this game, or shut the VP loss down right here for the time being. 8 points left, 7. He's going to get the decap. Okay, he got the decap at 6 points, but it's still 76 more, and it looks like the Force Commander is going to fall again. No, I'm wrong. He gets out of there with 20 HP. Here comes another column. That might be those Terminators. His wreck just dropped severely, and there they are. Assault Termies on the field. Floyd with tons of requisition, though, needs to get something out here. He can buy a Carnifex or another Lictor or something. This game is too close to not be bringing forces onto the field at this point in the game. Floyd just kind of focused on trying to hold these VPs. He doesn't want to have a loss on his hands at this point. He's so very close. The Terminators look like they're going to cap it, though, and turn it into a triple cap against Floid. Instead, deciding to engage the melee pile right now. A 2-0 cap, and we just got a huge ruckus right here in the natural VP of Floid. Stern Guard's taking lots of fire, but have so much HP. Look at that, 2200 HP at level 4. Terminator's taking lots of fire. Lictor getting an orbital bombardment on his face for trying to get that decap right there. I'm pretty sure, yeah, he does go down. And all of this Termagant squad's forced off as well. Stalling the cap right there. 15 points left.
Ready to serve.
Oh my goodness, I think Paranoid may have just pulled this game out. Yes, the last few VPs are ticking down and Floyd's trapped in his base. Wow, Paranoid just stole this game right from out from under the nose, or rather the tentacles. Little tentacle phase of the Lictor right there, and what a game. Oh my goodness. I thought Paranoid had it, then I thought he had lost it, but he just barely brings it back, and look at these Gene Stealers just streaking out here. Flying with their speed boost. Look at those nasty sons of guns with all their nasty claws. No wonder they do so much damage. They got 4 hands to do it with. And man, this Lictor getting obliterated by an orbital barrage at the end. And wow, just any number of little minuscule plays could have turned that game in one way or the other. And oh man, you know, if Floyd had just kept that VP a little earlier at the bottom when he had the chance. But wow, excellent play by Paranoid, excellent play by Floyd. Well played by both sides, of course. Thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to subscribe, comment on the video. I always appreciate it. This is Red-Rupee. I'll be catching you guys next time.